Hello my dear Libras, this is your love and spirituality reading for the month of August 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I read for the signs in the order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. You can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel if you just scroll down a little bit. The reading can go both ways, so if I tell you that you are feeling or acting in a certain way, it can be in the reversed, that the person you are dealing with is feeling or acting in that way. The energy is the same, it's just different castings to the different roles by the universe. And for this reading, I will use the Druidcraft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gomm, illustrated by Will Worthington, and I will start shuffling your cards. So my beautiful Libras. When I open your deck here, I see Cernunnos, the Devil, and the Tower. So shocking. We have had a little bit drama in the past Libra readings as well. Cernunnos is about your shadows, the things with you, with yourself, or with your partner, the people you are together with, working together with, your family, which they don't see about themselves, or what you don't see about yourself. So Cernunnos, it's needs that you have had, that you have shuffled down in some dark corner of yourself, in a dream, some symbolic kind of way. You can have these entities stored in the basement, in the attic, in the ocean, in the bottom of a well, it can also be a hurt entity somewhere, or something that's really like scary, like a ghost or someone chasing you. But this is a part of you that you have denied. It's maybe your partner's side that they have denied for themselves. It can be very hard when you are dealing with a person that have a big shadow. One is that they are not going to remember what they said or did towards you. It's like when you are confronting them with this, they are not going to remember one single word of what they said when they were in their shadow. And the same goes with you. You will be like, what, did I do that? I don't remember. And why this is happening, it's because our shadow is still a part of us. We are still this person. It can be that we don't like to be aggressive, but then we are instead coming out as passive aggressive. People can still see that we are angry. We don't know about it because we have put it in the basement. But people can see that, oh, this person is really angry, but they are trying to be nice. And it's a little bit scary, to be honest. So the shadow is a part of you, and you can't get rid of it. You can just be unaware of it. So that is what's happening with people when we are projecting, for example, our own flaws upon other people. We can think, for example, oh, this other person is so unreachable, you can't never get close to their heart. But really it's your heart that's very hard to get close to, maybe because you have been traumatized or abandoned or whatever has been going on. So it's actually you that's inaccessible. The other person might be too, but they're just like another you being mirrored on the outside, so you can see your shadow. That is what's so amazing with relationships, because the other person is showing you what you are hiding from yourself. So when we have a big shadow, we will usually have rather difficult relationships with people that might feel like they are not at all like us. It's like we are from different universes, but actually they are just holding the key to your own shadow. So for example, we have the classical thing, the good girl, bad boy kind of scenario. If you have your bad boy in prison, like in yourself, you don't use your masculine abilities, you will meet a bad boy on the outside and become very attracted to this person, because they are showing you the mirror of yourself. So what you are falling in love with is actually yourself, or the part of you that you have hidden away. The more healed we become, the more we can acknowledge our shadow and let ourselves be ourselves and admit to our flaws, to our personality quirks, or being perfectly flawed, the more aware and conscious we become, and the more aware and conscious partners, friends, co-workers, so on, we will also see, because the world is a mirror. And the good news here with the Tower is that the place where you have kept your shadow hidden is kind of falling to pieces, okay? So the walls are falling, the protective shell that kept this entity in darkness is going away. We can see it's by divine forces. So the divine wants the inside shell, the vulnerable inside, or the angry inside, or whatever can be found here, to be shown on the outside, or at least for you yourself to become aware of it. So this is by godly intervention. Something is being destroyed, swept away, teared down. It might be sometimes your own ego. For example, if we have a picture of ourselves as being very, very good people, and we have been able to keep up this image because we don't see the parts of ourselves that's not particularly good. This situation here is making it possible for us to see this and start to be actual good people without suppressing our other sides, because we might see that, oh, I haven't bought a present to my mother for ages, or I haven't called my neighbor and asked if they needed help, or it can be a lot of these kind of things, but it can also be totally other kind of things, like I need to tell my neighbor that this is my personal space and they are not to invade, or my mother never gives me presents, so I will actually stop giving it to her because I don't feel like it's justified anymore. It's not just. So whenever this is happening, when our shadow comes forth, it's actually a growing process, or a growing thing, and it's for all the greater good of all. So if we can become more aware of ourselves, also the things that we don't like about ourselves, that's a better thing. And if you have been dealing with maybe an abusive person in your life, or someone that never admits to having flaws, or they never ask for forgiveness, or they always forget about the last quarrel you had, and it's like they are saying, I don't know why you drag up all these old things. It's because they don't want to see their own shadow. But here they're kind of being forced, so that's good news for you, that finally you are not on your own trying to show a mirror to this person. Actually, the divine is here to help you. But in this deal, it actually you actually need to look at yourself as well. Okay, so where are you acting like this, but maybe towards other people? Doesn't have to be the same person. So I call the divine with love and light, and here we have also death together with the Tower. So this is why Libra readings become so long, because you're going through some deep, profound metamorphosis. The caterpillar is to become a butterfly. This is Scorpio, and here the Tower, it's about destruction that will lead to healing. It's like taking out a bad tooth so that you finally can become healed. Both these are destructive of ego, and we know from your previous reading, Libra, that you have a very protective shell. You have been procrastinating a lot of the things that you would like to do, and holding your inside a secret, because you are an air sign. You're supposed to be cool and logic, but you have a very empathic, big beating heart, and Scorpio is also the next sign after Libra, so it's kind of the next stage for you. And this shell is now to be broken, because you are to come outside your comfort zone and conquer new areas of your life, also conquer new areas of your personality, to not be controlled anymore, and to not avoid certain situations or people just because you feel your own limitations. It's like going doing the things that you fear the most, practicing on doing them over and over again until it doesn't feel scary anymore. Sometimes we need to take a little bit of pause. For me, for example, is scared of heights. So I have been practicing going to this places where you can ride a roller coaster and things like this, and there's really big towers you can go up in and just fall down, and I have done this a couple of times, also going like in a really like hanging in chains over high water, just to to deal with this fear I got. But you can't do this so often in the beginning, because you have the possibility of traumatizing yourself even more. So, and we can start small. We don't have to do like what I like to do. Like if I am scared of snakes, I want to pet snakes, and if I'm scared of heights, I need to go and find a height somewhere. We can do it small. We can stand on a ladder first, or carry around a stick that looks like a snake. We don't have to go all in. And maybe this route would be better for a Libra, to take things like it's like a therapy that you need to do. You need to face your fears. That is what I'm trying to say. Face your fears. So the divine wants you to do that. So you need to put a little bit of work into that. Okay. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have Rebirth. So you see, everything is going to be perfectly all right for you. This is the vulnerable self that you have kept hidden inside this tower, and now it's coming out. It's a rabbit. And it's a naked little boy, so they will be fragile, and the rabbit isn't known for their courage. They are known for their vulnerability and for like their ability to also flee the scene, okay, escape. So they are great escapists, but they're also a very mythological creature when it comes to just sacrifice and vulnerability and love as well, like giving your life up for something that's greater than yourself. And here we see it's the same scenario. It's the same building. It's just a different opening of the doorways here. This is a square portal, and this is a rounded portal, so it's just feminine and masculine. But so it's kind of your masculine side that has been hidden in the tower, but it actually has a very fragile side to it that needs to be exposed. Males haven't been so your male side, that might be the thing that you have in prison as well, or in the bottom of this lake, might become as a shark or a crocodile or something. It has not been allowed to have tears or to be vulnerable or to show that it have needs. It has been forced to be very responsible and to not cry, and to provide for the family and be the strong one when everyone else falls apart. So this has actually created a very big shadow with the masculine, where they don't take responsibility at all, and they don't care for anyone else than themselves, becoming very selfish and egocentric, and they are cold-hearted, but actually underneath they are real cowards, okay, really scared for different things, like for example saying the truth and consequences and things like this. So what we have created with having this requirement, this cultural requirements on masculine people, is actually creating like real sissies inside. Like their shadow is become a real sissies, like people not being able to take responsibility, lying, cheating, escapist, flaky people that you can't trust. You can't turn your back against them, because then they will do something stupid. And so this is what we have gotten, because we have had too high demands on the masculine. So every other side has been suppressed into darkness, and this needs to now come out. So that might mean that the masculine people in your life, or your masculine side, is going to have a nervous breakdown because it can't take it anymore. It just can't take it anymore. So you need to see some humor in this. It's healthy, but it will feel painful. So I'm yes, okay, I call the 6 elements earth, Four of Wands. Yes, you are going to build a new foundation, and that's why this is so good, and this is why I'm not sad when I'm doing this reading. I'm actually happy for you, because this, what you have not allowed yourself to be, is actually the key to your happiness and to your success in all areas of your life. So when you finally admit to who you are and kind of give up your guns, or you accept, you stop the resistance towards what it is that you are fighting so hard to keep at bay, and you just accept it. I accept I feel like this. I accept I'm a coward. I accept I can't take responsibility. I accept that I'm lying. I accept that I'm doing this. I accept that I love this devil that is up to no good. Whatever it is that you need to accept. Okay, and here we have the feral, so it's about alchemy, taking in your shadow, the shadow to your light. I'm the shadow, he's the shadow to your light, or this other person, your partner, your co-worker, your friend is the shadow to your light. So, and here you're being baked together, so the alchemic process where there will be created something new, something that wasn't there before, because your soul becomes whole and you're taking in the good with the bad. Okay, yes, sun, holiness. So we saw the alchemist is the second card for love. We have the lover's card and the alchemist card. The alchemist card is when you get you understand that you have gotten attracted to a person that's kind of not at all like you, or that you can't understand them, or that they are the devil. In fact, I'm not meaning literally, I'm meaning that this is a person with a great shadow, and if you're meeting a person with a great shadow, you probably have a big fat shadow yourself. So there's no pointing fingers here and saying, oh, that's the demon. You are their maybe girlfriend from hell, and you are the they are your boyfriend from hell. So it's but here's the sun, so it's the last card for love in the major arcana, and it's about when two holy people, like two healed people, is joining in holy matrimony and getting a halo. So all these H's are from the goddess Hel. It was a goddess she had half her side was black and the other half was white, so death and new beginning, and darkness and light, everything needs to be in balance, and the white light is containing all colors, and also sunlight is creating big shadows here underneath the horse, but this is very light colored horse, and a naked child, the same child that was in the 20 judgment. This is 19, the sun. So it's showing authenticity, vulnerability, how strong your soul becomes when you admit to all of it, when you just surrender to who you really are and accept that you are perfectly flawed and that you don't have to play the game anymore. You can be exactly the person that you are. Sometimes this means that we also need to admit to the truth. We are saying this, that sometimes I got this from a friend saying, giving me a picture that the truth will first piss you off and then it will set you free. So all this truth might piss you off and you might need to take action towards that. If you finally see, oh, I have been living with this demon girlfriend for this long time, or my parents have been acting like this shady towards me all this time, you might need to do up the reckon. It doesn't mean that you need to burn bridges, it just means that you need to start to act on reality, even if that makes you angry or hurt. And here we also have the stars. So stars, suns, it's souls. Okay, souls of our solar system, or the sun that you have above your own head, making a beautiful halo on you, admitting to the truth, who you really are, what you really want, is going to heal your soul, make your soul also be able to come down in your body. So that's why the tower is there, to make room, take away everything that's not you, every mask, every conditioning, every domestication that was not really you, just something that you did to become loved, or to be appreciated, or not have people, you know, gossiping about you or whatever, or just trying to be a good person in the eye of everything. So it's beautiful intentions, but they lead to us closing ourselves for our own personality and forgetting who we are. when we try to be something that we're not. Okay, so I'll just tune in here for a few seconds. So, okay, my dear Libras, this is your future there. Going in second part of August, going into September. This is beginning of August, maybe into middle of August. And this is the past, so maybe July. It can sometimes be also your whole life. And here in the past we have Six of Cups. So Six of Cups is about reconciliation, trying to make friends, feeling like longing for something, wanting to fix something. It's about second chances. It's the past life and childhood card. So it's about repairing also old situations. For example, if you have been traumatized, you have died from falling from a high building, and then you are scared for heights, and here it's the moment when you kind of go back to that situation and fix it all by preventing this from happening and saving your long lost love and yourself, and you know, making the fairy tale have finally a good ending, and thereby also being able to digest the whole situation and what you have been through. Trauma can be very easily transformed when we finally are healed, when we finally reach the point where things falls into place and becoming in the way that we want to. So that's the reason to why we are always returning to the place of the crime, even if the crime has happened like 10,000 years ago and you're still repeating the same drama. You can't let it go. You're going repeatedly back to this place where you once got hurt, and you're trying it all over again. And this is how it's rigged. It's how it's made, so that you will get complete knowledge and you will not be left with a failure. You will always get a second chance of fixing things. So Six of Cups, mainly for you, it will mean that you have been treated in a certain way in your childhood that gave you an attachment that might have been not 100% good. Okay, we can sometimes get a very bad attachment, so we are not actually attaching to anyone, we're just repelling everyone, and we're becoming a little bit of loner, or we can become like have a attachment where we always fear abandonment, and there's different forms and variation, but here it's about healing that. So actually starting to become your own parent and healing yourself and giving yourself the love that you once so much needed but maybe didn't get. So that therefore you grew up with different kind of difficulties when it comes to especially relationship, also relationship to money, because money is about self-love and self-worth. Here you're in the past, you had the chance to fix it, we can say. Okay, and here we have the now and we have the wheel. So this chance doesn't seem to be over. It's going to continue repeating itself, the same pattern in your life until you have solved this karma once and for all and healed yourself and your surroundings. So, and the wheel it's like not in your control, it's in the control of the divine now, and they are going to put you to test or make you jump through hoops, but not to hurt you but to heal you. So try to go with it as much as possible. Put yourself in the center of the circle, as this woman has put herself in the center, so it won't spin so much. The centrifugal forces outside here might be like in a washing machine. And put yourself center, accept, do not resist, and kind of I don't mind what happens. Okay, you give up your will to the divine and let this just happen to you. Whatever needs to be repaired, or whatever fear you need to face, or whatever challenge you need to jump through, or whatever you're asked to do, just do it, and don't think so hard about it. Just try to be here and now, and act accordingly with what your heart is dictating, because the heart is kind of the only hotline you have to the divine, so that they can guide you. And in the end here we have a 10 of Pentacles, so it seems like something new will be built for you, like a new beautiful foundation, a place of value. And it's another 10, you had the 10, the wheel, here is 10 of Pentacles, so it might be a place of work, like getting a good economy to the brink that you will become, you know, tired of it and taking it for granted. Or it might be like commitment, marrying, buying a house, things like this. Places of value, places that is like home, something which make you feel safe. So the divine wants to take some old safety that you have had, that like your survival skill that actually have kept you like closed into a tower, and give you real satisfaction. But then you need to become more fearless and more like ready for actually going through this healing process. Okay, so this is the past here, and we have a Prince of Pentacles. Prince of Pentacles is a very beautiful entity. It might be an earth person in your life, or maybe you have earth in your chart, but mainly it's about a person that is very loyal. It's like they are not going anywhere. They are sticking with this one person or one project, and they are very stubborn reaching their goal, but in the same time they have a lot of doubts, so therefore their project isn't that, it's not going really hasty. You can see this person is hiding behind their shield there, and they're kind of ready with their sword. The horse is looking like they might be a little bit more brave than their master, and they are listening back for the voice of their master. Will they finally come with a order so I can move forward? So I can use my strength here. It's a brown horse showing stamina, and a person or a horse being very resilient. So this person might be overly careful because they actually have the resources to move forward without difficulty. But something holding this person back, being overly careful, thinking through everything, being ready to defend themselves or to fight off any danger. So it's a little bit like the rabbit kind of person, but on a very brave horse. So the feelings, the loyalty, the willingness, it's very brave with this person. It's just that maybe they have too high demands on themselves to be perfect, so that is what's making them so shy and careful and second guessing. And it's like being slow as a turtle, but riding on a horse that's could, you know, race with the speed of the wind. Okay, and here we have a King of Wands. So King of Wands, we have Leo here. Actually, it's the month of Leo right now, but this is maybe July, June, July. And Leo is, it's kind of your soul. It's the part of you that comes down. It's royal. Like all of us are royals. We are all very beautiful spiritual beings. And the King of Wands is when it's not badly situated, is kind of your soul in your body. So here we have like a very careful, cautious entity, and here we have a person that's kind of not cautious at all. So it's a little bit like very like this is not, they don't have so much in common, these two. Maybe the projects, maybe like these are both two builders. This person maybe more with creativity and ideas, and this with hard work and putting in the effort. But the King of Wands, you can see the openness here. They have put a shield there on the side. They have the wand here, so they are ready to defend themselves, but they are also very interested in you. They are much like this horse, but in this case, you have control over yourself. You are not waiting for your master to let go of the reins here. And we have, it's the symbol of Aries here. In some deck, this is Leo. In some deck, it's Aries. It doesn't really matter. It's fire energy, so it's about creativity. Aries, for example, is an entity that was the mission from God was kind of to start new projects wherever they go. So they start new projects, and the Prince of Pentacles might be the one that needs to finish it off, because this entity is on to their next project. But the King of Wands is the good king, the fairy tale king, that the golden age kind of king. So it's a good thing. In badly situated with with the devil and things, it would be a very jealous, possessive person that wants to rule and you know, own everyone in their environment. So it can go this way too, like becoming a person that's very possessive and powerful. So they kind of don't take other people's feelings or wants or needs into consideration. It's just my way or the highway, kind of. And the Aries, it's like stubborn, that doesn't yield. Okay, and here we have Justice. So Justice is Libra. Might be that we have a whole personal cabinet here with 3 different people. Earth sign, usually Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. And this is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But this is almost always Libra. It's the scales, yes, so that's your symbol. And it might be that you need to scale these 2 entities inside of you. Like the side of you that's very careful, like loyal to the death, and the other side that's more creative and willing to move forward. So I think to balance the scales inside of you, you either need to become maybe more careful and more thorough, like not abandoning your missions just because something else more interesting came along, or it might be that you need to become more courageous, more like self-trusting, self-believing, having your own authority, growing up. So being able to be warm and generous towards others, give of yourself, have this great generosity that very grown-up people have, being able to, you know, be the bigger person, ask for forgiveness, be open and vulnerable, tells what's on their heart, because King of Wands is a very heart-filled person. You can see this also on the red. And here the cloth is going into some more purple color, and here it's all purple. So and this is green. So green is it's very beautiful love, but here if we see the scales, it's going to more spiritual and spiritual. So I'm thinking this is the 2 entities inside of you that you need to scale, that you need to have in balance for yourself. So one of these 2 entities is probably in your shadow, either the very brave one, the grown-up one that's able to really stand up for what they believe in and be very authentic, or the person that take things more carefully and, you know, not jump into conclusion and actually thinking things through. So whatever you feel is more you, take in your other side. Okay, and there's this beautiful like cabinet also with people. It might show like a person growing into their own like values, finding out who they are, and deciding upon their own values, not the values of their parents or their ancestor or their tradition, but actually growing into their own, like, what do I represent, what is it that I stand for with my high moral values, and like the truth, what is the truth, and what's the truth, if you would admit to yourself the most vulnerable truth inside of you, because this is the truth that's going to heal you, because it's the absolute truth usually. Okay, so that was in the past, so it looks like some kind of gathering or meeting, or people like putting their forces towards each other to balance the scales. It's some kind of it's very prosperous. It looks very healthy. It can be like 2 knights combating on the like going into a, what can the name be in English, tourniquet, something like that. It's 2 knights riding with their spears against each other, and it's 2 different entities inside of you that's battling for attention, and you should give them equal amount of attention. Like give both of these personal qualities your attention. It might be also 2 different people in your life. You can't expect so much for the Prince of Pentacles. They won't move anywhere. The King of Wands is usually more, you know, ready to have some kind of exchange. But the Prince of Pentacles would be a good, workforce or a good friend maybe, but they might never admit to having other feelings for you than beyond friendship. It's what I'm feeling with this card. Okay. So, and underneath the Prince of Pentacles, we have the King of Swords. So King of Swords, Justice. King of Swords is usually Aquarius, but it's probably Libra here in this reading. But you might also deal with an Aquarius or a Gemini or another Libra. And we have the wild boar here as a symbol on their throne of wood. And they're also sitting on the top of a cliff here. So I'm thinking this is a very stubborn person, much like the Aries here. Aquarius is high and mighty. Okay, they might not need anyone else. They are so cool, and they're sitting here on their mountain, looking out on the world and trying to figure things out. And we can see they are ready with their sword, exactly as with the Justice here. But the Justice is holding it up to show some kind of valor and honor. Here I'm feeling more like defensiveness and maybe also threat a little bit. So Prince of Pentacles and King of Swords. This makes a very careful troop. Like people that would think, 10,000 lifetimes before making any decision, because they see so many, this one sees so many problems that could come with their project, and this seem so many like different outcomes. They have a very, very intelligent mind and will be able to calculate like a computer 10,000 different outcomes. So it's very hard for these, if these two is teaming up, they will have a very hard time deciding what to do or even moving forward an inch. But you are flanking the King of Wands that might not be thinking at all. Like the King of Wands is more like we try it and we see how it goes, because the King of Wands is not afraid of consequences. They are problem solvers. Bring on the consequences. We deal with the consequences. That's what makes us stronger. What doesn't kill us make us stronger. And the King of Swords is thinking, but we can be wiped out from this world if we don't think first. And the King of Wands say, we don't think, we do. We act, we see what happens. So it's fire and air, so it can be very feisty situation between these two. It's kind of, they are feeding each other. It can easily become like a big forest fire or big fire overall, with these kind of like the oxygen to the fire there. And here we have an Ace of Pentacles. So Ace of Pentacles is some kind of chance or new beginning. It's the seed that comes with this beautiful Prince of Pentacles, because the Prince of Pentacles is always thinking, he's like this farmer going over the lands and trying to find a place where he can plant his very precious seed that will be his future, his tomorrow. So he has this one chance to live a happy, beautiful life. So he might be a little bit like, the grass is always greener somewhere else. He comes to this first farm and he sees, oh, it's too much rock here. And the next farm, oh, there lives a bear. He can't be there. And he goes to the next and the next and the next. And he can't really find home anywhere, because he needs to find the home inside himself and be ready to take on whatever is in his home. So we need more of the King of Wands qualities. But the King of Wands might be needing more of this, choosing, making a choice instead of just jumping in and not really considering the options. It doesn't matter if it's full of rocks in this. Well, we can farm it. We can take like manure from our animals, and we can make farmland here. So the King of Wands will say he would have saved himself a lot of work if we actually, took a farmland that was already rather fertile. But he doesn't see a problem in this. He just sees possibilities, like what we can do. While this is seeing problems in everything and wants to have the best. So it's like a person always seeing that the grass is greener somewhere else. And yeah, the King of Wands can be like this as well, but it's because they are so good in creating new opportunities, charming the pants off other people. So you see, what I'm getting here is that it might be a little bit hard for these entities to cooperate, because they have so different views on what's valuable from the beginning and what can be built into value. Okay, so some people might be so very judgmental of the situation that they're in, that it can never be satisfied. Why the King of Wands see seeds everywhere and just new opportunities, new opportunities, new opportunities. Okay, and next card here is the Queen of Wands. So it's a lot of people here, but I'm thinking it's different sides to you that needs to be balanced and needs to, you know, this is usually the card that comes after death. When death has come, wiped it all away, there comes new seed that will grow into new prosperity, even if there have been a volcanic eruption here that killed everything. The Ace of Pentacles is a new doorway, like a new possibility. And we have the Mama Bear here, showing bravery as well. She will defend her cobblings or the weaker ones or the vulnerability. This is what needs to be protected to her death. And that is kind of what you can see with the Queen of Wands as well. She's not going to give up her guns for anything. She's a little bit to the brink of self-righteous, especially with the justice above her head. So she's thinking that she's battling for the divine and for, like, in the service of the divine. Not maybe like John the Ark. She's more, this is more witchy element. And you can see the cat underneath the chair here, and the fire here, and the eagle here, that this is a feisty woman. She's very warm and generous, but she's not taking crap from anyone, or, you know, she's very warm and generous until you cross her. And especially if you have crossed her and made her like you have done some kind of injustice towards her, that can be a big fire here. So I'm a little bit worried, but not too much, because we have a King and Queen of Wands in this reading. So King and Queen of Wands usually talks about soulmates. Justice might talk about twin flames. And the King of Swords and Prince of Pentacles, they have this possibility to grow into greater souls. Instead of being like a little bit cave people, staying in the situation that they already are in, they can actually step up and take this chance and you know, live with passion or not at all. Okay, so this is what's called for you to do, to live with passion, and you know, no regrets. Oh, and the wheel. So there's some kind of destiny involved here. The wheel and the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new chance here. Queen of Wands. Okay, so I'm a little bit worried about this. You hear me here, but I'm not know exactly what will be with this Queen of Wands. She has this witch quality. It might be this, that you are super scared of your witch quality, your queen, like your feminine qualities. Maybe you feel that they will burn the world, or, you know, be too vulnerable, but there's no chance that she will be too vulnerable, so you don't have to be afraid of that. But you can be afraid that she will destroy the world, that when you do something without thinking about the consequences, that you would get consequences that you can't handle. But I can say to you that this brain trust here will be able to handle whatever. So you don't have to fear the consequences. Just act with, you know, truth and honor, and, you know, give the situations a chance. Show openness and vulnerability, but also show authority. You have two kings here and a new beginning. Kings are usually like endings. It has grown to its full potential, and then you have a new beginning and a queen. So this is very masculine, and here it's very feminine. So, and it's very feminine in a Amazonas warrior kind of way. So both these sides, the masculine here and the feminine, is equally strong and not at all submissive. So that might cause big clashes, of course. So it might also be a divorce between soulmates, but a new beginning, and again with the soulmate. So it doesn't really make sense, but maybe you will have a new chance with a new soulmate, or maybe you try to divorce your soulmate, but surprise, they're still there. Okay. Yes, and here we have the argument that I was feeling building up to in this situation. So the Five of Swords is when we want to win over other people instead of creating consensus. We want to steal what's there, like steal their dignity, steal their vulnerability, kill them off, put a sword in their back. So someone might be doing this to you. It comes underneath the Prince of Pentacles, King of Swords, Five of Swords kind of situation here. So it's a person, if you're scared, like a scared dog, we can see this with scared dogs. They are easily the dog that will bite. Okay, a brave dog doesn't bite. The scared dog do bite. They lashes out. They become, they are afraid of fights, so they lashes out and try to eliminate the thing that they are scared of, but it actually makes them go into a fight. So instead of being like grown up and secure like the big dog, okay, so it's something like this going on. You might be dealing with like a person overthinking everything until it kind of breaks apart. Because when you think things, you tend to become a little bit selfish, because you see all the scenarios from your point of view. You can't really see it from another point of view. If you want to see it from another person's point of view, you actually need to talk with them. So a person, if you're feeling that they are very unjust to you, it's probably because they haven't really taken the time to listen to you or like have a conversation with you for real. Instead, they're just trying to win, or like this bird of prey trying to take this little bird. And we can see also this person is walking away in with sadness, and it's almost like these are the clothes of this person, and these are the clothes of this other person. So it's more important to win and to be safe, like the caveman. I'm safe in my cave. No one will be. It's like a hermit crab, okay, and no mountain lion will ever come in here, but what's happening here is no evolution, no progress. We're still cavemans instead of going out, experience things, learning from our mistakes, doing it all over again, trying again, a different thing. Instead, we are just doing the old that is like is rehearsed. It's like it's going on playback again and again and again and again and again and again, and it's fear that's keeping this from moving forward. Okay, fear, and also lack of dignity and loyalty and truth. Okay, standing up for good things. And here we have a Prince of Wands. So Prince of Wands is a very energetic energy. It's very spiritual, but can be also very flaky, like a person coming in with the best intentions, not finding happiness, and riding on. It's usually Sagittarius. So we actually have Sagittarius, Aries, Leo here, or Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, whatever we prefer. The Prince of Wands is a very spiritual energy. It's coming from the east, coming to the people in the west with some new updates on how to do things. So this is evolution. Okay, here we have evolution. It's not evolved, but it's evolution. Okay, going from the darkness, shooting out like a spear of light, and bringing light into this situation, bringing evolution into this situation. So this is someone growing. It's someone like getting a little bit of balls, okay, finding courage to do something that they have never done before. So we can see it's King, Queen, Prince of Wands. So something is like it's going in a downward spiral a little bit, but what I'm feeling is that this side might be actually growing at this here in the future. So if you're dealing with this person, utterly stubborn and won't change their way, very traditional, can't see the positive in things, won't take a chance, it might be that in the future they will. because they are taking in their other side. So if you are becoming, if this is you and you are becoming more like cautious and still being your beautiful Libra self, but becoming a little bit and being more cautious, okay? Or it might be that you have been very careful and now taking in bravery. Either way, this is like shift. It's justice, so it's about balance, and this is why you are meeting your shadow in the outside, so you can take it in. And this other person is meeting their shadow in you, so they can take it in. And this is the healing process. This is how we become whole, by learning from the other person. So here it seems like this this little bit careful entity is now learning courage. So very beautiful. It might still be a rabbit, but at least with red clothes. So that means passion. Okay. So okay. and also Six of Wands. So Six of Wands is Jupiter in Leo. So it means messages, win-win situations. Instead of I win over you, it's we can win together. We can make this work together. Being a good leader, being the bigger person, being the grown-up, showing the way, coming with honor and glory. And it's the gray horse also that we saw with the Sun card. So it's about now the little child has grown up and get a fat belly here, but it might be this same person growing up to be a king. Okay, so it's beautiful. Sometimes I have to warn you though that knights are not they are evolving, but they are not evolved. So it might show a person all full of themselves, thinking that they can make this time around, but it might be that they just want attention, and sometimes also only sexual attention, with the Six of Wands being a very sexual card. But it's also the card of victory, but win-win situation, not victory in like one is losing and the other one is winning, but actually true consensus, trying to fix things. We are working together as a team. And it seems to lead to the Ten of Pentacles. So it might be commitment, for example. If you have had problem with a very slow turtle person, there might be commitment. Or it might also be that when it comes to work, for example, if you have been too careful and not being able to show who you really are and what you really want to do, here you might really blossom and you know, come into your right element and become the person that you were supposed to be here on earth, like fulfilling your life mission. So I read the Ace of Pentacles for you, that the King of Swords here is so brooding about, will we take this chance or not? So it might be like some kind of creative opportunity here as well. Creativity with all the fire, like some kind of longing also. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. In the foreground, we see a birch tree. Birch. Okay, so now I know the name of that. Birch, it's a very common tree in Sweden. And I have actually birch seeds here all over my table, because as soon as I have my roof window open, they come in. A lot of seeds, a lot of possibilities. One little seed, small as the seed I showed you, becomes a tree that's like 30 meters tall. That's kind of amazing. In the foreground we see the birch tree, the pioneering tree of birth and beginnings, because it's usually the first tree that comes to a ground that has been, you know, volcanic eruption or something similar to this, or where there's been like something being built and it's just gravel, then a björk will start growing there. It is the night of Alban Artan, the light of Arthur, as the winter solstice is known in the Druid tradition. Winter solstice, that's Yule or Christmas. We are saying that Jesus was born there, but it's actually the winter solstice. It's an ancient calendar, like tens and tens of thousand years old. Emerging from a cave, is Art, the bear, okay, totem animal in Druid of the North, of winter, and of element of earth. So this bear, it's showing courage, of course, but North is about wisdom, so it's King of Swords is Aquarius. Yes, the card also represents the pentacle as a magical tool. This is extremely auspicious card to receive if you are hoping for financial rewards or for success in your career. Each ace card offers a gift, and here the gift is one of material benefits. This may involve a job offer, promotion or salary increase in work, or perhaps inheritance or a windfall of money. It can also, of course, be the next step in a relationship for those of you that are in these kind. It's not always about money. It's also about what things that's being created, like between people or in a family. If you are contemplating a new contract or a career change, this could augur well, provided the other cards, in the spread supports this. If the card refers to relationship, it's indicated a situation that is well grounded, secure, peaceful, and enduring. For me, this is a seed. It's like a possibility, but it needs to be nurtured, maybe by this energy to actually, grow. It needs the right conditions. It can't grow if everyone is working against the new beginning or not taking the chance. Sacred Rebels Oracle card for you. And we have the Trust Yourself card here. Beautiful. It's number 31. 3 + 1, 4. Connected to the Emperor. And 3 and 1. Empress and the Magician together. Becoming, like building something out of that. So it's like the seed. Okay. Emperor. Nature, Magician. It's the Prince of Wands, this energy of life, the life energy, soul energy, life force. Okay, you are wise. You know how to grow, even without knowing how you know. Growing, Prince of Wands here with the 6 of Wands. It's like following your destiny with the 6 of Wands card. Like the ancient forests, spectacular galaxies, and the acorn that becomes the oak. There you had it again. We had the birch. Oh, I have already forgotten the name. I need to study that. The little seed of this björk in Swedish becoming this big tree, and the acorn becoming the oak. So there it was again. There is and the seed here, Ace of Pentacles. There is a natural intelligence for growth that is beyond logic and beyond reason. It just happens. At the deepest levels, we are governed by this force that is so palpable, it literally shapes the world. At the same time, it's so invisible that sometimes we forget its presence and worry that our minds have to work everything out for life to happen and for us to be all right. We can become unnecessarily anxious about our affairs and how life will unfold. This oracle brings the message that you are growing. You really are. Don't doubt it. Even if you don't see it yet, remember that so much is happening when the seed is still unbroken in the ground. Below the earth, it is summoning up all the might, power and force it needs to push above the top soil and burst up into the light. King of Wands, Queen of Wands, Prince of Wands and the 6 of Wands. It's life force. Something is growing here with you, Libra. Yes. Where were I? Okay. Yes, this oracle brings the message that you are growing. You really are. Don't doubt it. Even if you don't see it, remember that so much is happening when the seed is unbroken in the ground. Below the earth is summing up all might, power and force it needs to push above the topsoil and burst up into the light. It is essential for anything good to happen. Yet we don't see any of that. We just have to trust that things will happen when the time is right. You are also being asked to trust in yourself. You know how to grow. Don't overthink things. It won't help you. Don't worry so much. You are doing a great job in this game of life. When you trust yourself, you relax and you can heed your own wisdom, insight and messages much more clearly and easily. This oracle comes with particular guidance. You have big destiny. The 6 of Wands here talking about you walking on the path towards your highest destiny and fulfilling your life's mission. This lifetime and much to experience. Sometimes you make the error of judging something that is unpleasant as negative or a mistake. It's not. It's just a part of your great hunger for experience. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot of it, but when you do, don't shame yourself for it. Simply let it be. Maybe it's just the fertilizer for your next step on the path. It's all part of your life process, and it's all a sign of growth. So it's kind of this King of Swords, he thinks he already knows everything, and he just needs to use his mind correctly, like be really smart to avoid any danger. While the King of Wands go head on with any danger, and therefore learn by experience, and therefore also putting new pages in the book of knowledge to the King of Swords. So it's actually a win-win situation if we can use both our heads and our longing and go after what we want, even though we think we can't have it because our logic say no, that's not possible, but our heart says, our soul's longing says yes, we can. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it goes wrong, because that's only life experience. That's something that you needed. You didn't know before that it would go wrong. You couldn't calculate it, and it was going wrong, so you could learn from it. And it might repeating going wrong until you actually learn the thing that you were supposed to learn. So it's just a part of a great hunger for experience. It doesn't mean you have to have a lot of it. Yes, simply let it be. Maybe it's the fertilizer for your next step. It's all part of your life process, and it's all sign of growth. This oracle is also telling you not to resist any points of instability in your life. This even applies to your most treasured relationship or creative projects. That instability is just a growing pain, because more consciousness, more love, and more light wants to infiltrate and pervade all parts of your life. The instability is not a sign of sickness, but of growth. So don't fret, instead choose to flow and grow. Okay. We have a growing healing process here as well. Maybe we should do this. Okay, close your eyes and relax for a moment. Breathe in and out. Let your awareness drift away from worries and day-to-day matters, and settle instead on the feeling of warmth inside your body. Then slowly imagine, sense, feel, or perceive that you have an acorn in your hand. You are standing in nature as sunrise breaks, flooding the horizon with color and light. As you hold the acorn up to the light of the rising sun, something magical happens. Out of the acorn, a hologram shines forth. It's a blueprint of this entire being that is yet to be. You see an acorn in the hologram, but you also see a marvelous oak tree. You see the wildlife that will support and be supported by the tree, the ecosystem of which it is a part. You yourself holding the acorn up to the rising sun. You see seasons demarcated as rings of time within the trunk of the tree. You see the passing lives of many people that enjoy the oak tree through its long life. Place the acorn down on the ground as the sun continues to rise. Imagine, if you will, kneeling and touching your forehead lightly to the earth in reverence for the genius of growth. That same genius lives within you. In your own time, open your eyes and go about your day. You have completed your healing process, and now you're ready to grow. Okay. Yes, thank you for watching all this far. And if you want, you're welcome to watch my webpage, www.queenofcupstarot.se. You can also... No, I want to say this instead. I want to welcome you also back to the mid-month reading of August that I will perform in the beginning of August. So until then, have a beautiful, beautiful summer. Okay, take care and bye-bye.